discovery by accident. It's happened before, many times. Fleming discovered penicillin by accident. Röntgen, X-rays, and we, the end of the world. We don't know that.
My question to you is, how do you think abolishing abortion at a federal level will solve this problem of sin in society?
Well, because we're actually talking about the gospel being the we're not actually talking about a legislative thing. Well, that's the thing, we're not talking about voting. We're talking about the gospel, like the gospel of Jesus Christ, a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ that'll actually change your heart.
The ideas of the church to the state.
Not the ideas of the church to the state. The ideas of the gospel, Jesus Christ, to your life.
I mean, I personally am Protestant. I believe wholeheartedly in Christianity. I believe that abortion is wrong, but I believe that at a federal level, at a legislative level, we should have the right to have abortion.
We see, here's the thing, those two statements don't make any sense. But I want to say, like, I want to speak first to the idea of the church, right? The idea of the church and what we do in church today is actually very contrary to the gospel.
How so?
Because it's so self-serving. It's so inwardly focused. It's a big self-help seminar. It's not about going out and doing war with evil. It's not about going out and freeing the oppressed. It's not about going out and proclaiming the good news to the poor. It's about going to a service and having somebody tell you that you're special and great.
That's where the interpretation of the Bible is a big part of Protestant religion. Catholicism didn't focus on it as much, but after the Reformations, it kind of has shifted its emphasis on helping others. There is institutionalized religion because that is how religion was formed. I mean, the apostles.
And I'm saying that institutionalized religion and that translation of the Bible, interpretation you're talking about, that is prevalent today, not necessarily in every case that is prevalent, by and large, is actually contrary to the literal interpretation.
Well, yes, there's various interpretations of the Bible. There's various interpretations of how the doctrine applies to human life. But how does that tie into abortion? That's my question.
Well, here, the two death knells to abortion is that man is made in God's image, and that God looked down at man and said, even while we were hating him, he actually said, I'm going to enter the womb of a woman, a virgin, as a single-celled human being. I'm going to enter that, and I'm going to come and save the world through that. Okay, so both of those things, like we look at man, all men, from all stages of development. Doesn't matter if they're like single-celled or like blastocyst or like a fetus or like a toddler or like your age or like an old person. Doesn't matter. All men made in God's image.
Yes.
We cannot treat like trash. We cannot treat them like trash in the case of abortion. We cannot treat them like sex objects in the case of like pornography or prostitution. We cannot treat them like slaves, like or beasts, like in slavery. Like all these things are wrong, and as a society, we should not condone them. And so you're talking about, I get you're saying like legislatively, you actually think that it would be good for us to keep a practice like that around.
Abortion is good. I agree with you that abortion is religiously wrong, but I do not agree that anybody has the right to say to somebody, no, you cannot get an abortion.
Well, we say with other forms of murder, we say you can't, as a society, we're going to say you can't actually like kill that person. So like, where's the disconnect
I'd like
there?
to ask you, is it better to have a child that would have a disprivileged life, that would have a life that they don't deserve, than to not have a life?
Because here's the thing,
you see throughout
here, I'm Jared.
Carter, it's nice
Carter, it's good to meet you, man. God actually provides children. You agree, right? They're a provision and a blessing from Him.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
Even when conceived in rape.
Yes.
Yes. It's hard to say that, but even when conceived in rape, still a provision and a blessing from God. Who God will actually provide for. Jesus Himself said, the birds do not sow crops, the flowers do not sow clothes, but yet the birds are well taken care of.
Well, then how do you explain starvation in the modern world? 1 in 5 children die of starvation.
Starvation in the modern world?
Yes.
Really? Okay, so every one of these countries that you look at where starvation is actually happening,
yes.
Look at what's happening on like a macro level. Look who's actually in control, because we're sending food over there. Why are they not getting it?
Well, the fact of the matter is,
seriously, why are they not getting it?
The fact of the matter is that the average American consumes 8 times as much as the average Indian.
I believe that's very evil.
There's not enough.
Our gluttony is very evil.
There are not enough resources to
No, brother. No. You believed a really humanist, secularist lie that says like the world's overpopulated, man. If the entire world was the density of Paris, you get me?
Yeah.
Like the city of Paris, it would fit inside Texas.
Yes.
Like the entire population,
yes,
right? Our resources are not dwindling by any means.
Yes, but the problem is we have a finite amount of resources, that we are...
No, it's a really good, read it over. Come and challenge me later. Just read it over first.
Sure.
Okay. Later, we'll be back Monday through Thursday next week.
My question to you is, how does abortion solve these problems? I mean, abortion, it is when somebody's saying, I can't take care of this child, I cannot have this child at this point in my life, I would not be able to provide for it, I would not be able to take care of it properly. I agree there are other methods, and abortion is doctrinally wrong. However,
but you're separating the two. There's only one wrong and one right. There's not like a societal right.
Yes, I agree with you.
And a societal wrong. And I'm not saying we should have a theocracy in the nation. Nobody's saying that. Just as a society that we shouldn't condone any form of murder. These are just general things that we should not allow.
I don't think anybody is condoning abortion, but I think they're just accepting it.
You know we are condoning abortion.
Well,
I want to challenge you to actually talk to some people around you. There are people who think that abortion's a really, really good thing.
Yes.
And that's condoning. That's not only condoning, that's supporting and promoting.
I do not agree that abortion is a good thing, but it's the better of two evils. It is far better to have a child that is euthanized in this sense before even being born.
And you see, I'm saying that you can't actually believe that and be right with God. You can't actually believe that there's a good form of murder. I want to challenge you, man. Pour through your scripture and see if there's ever a time where God said...
Through the work of Paul, I think that we've realized that we are at a level lesser than God. We cannot be equal with God.
That's why God gave us a very, very complete, very strict, very this is right, this is wrong. He didn't say any of those times when he said this is right and wrong, he didn't ever say, well, this is right, but you know what? If there seems to be in your own wisdom one right that isn't really achievable, go with a lesser wrong, which there's no lesser wrong. They're all just infinitely wrong, right? Okay, so we're saying in our own wisdom, this child's not going to have a good life. We can't decide that, right? You can't possibly, foreseeably.
No until it happens.
There's no foreseeable way to actually understand that. And so you're saying that if it looks like the child may have a bad life, or his parents don't really want him at that time, that we should allow people to take sharp instruments and poke him in the brain until he dies, and then pull his dead body out.
My question to you then is, there are better ways to not have abortion than just completely saying abortion is no longer a thing. There are going to be people that are going to have children.
Well, that's what you're not saying. I'm not talking about a legislative end to abortion, which that would be along the way. I am talking about the gospel.
Yes.
And I'm bringing up abortion, and that's getting a lot of people out here so I can talk to non-believers about the gospel.
Pictures of aborted fetuses in front of a public school.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
these are our neighbors. These are our fellow men. And you're saying that you're a Christian. You're giving them a false impression because you're saying that you're a Christian, but you're saying we should be allowed to kill our neighbors.
I'm saying that it is
the ones that Christ said to love as ourselves.
I'm not saying that abortion is right on a religious level.
There's only right and wrong. There could be religions that are wrong about what's right and wrong.
What I'm getting from you is that you're telling me that abortion is wrong. I agree with you there, but you're saying that you want it to be institutionalized as there cannot be abortion.
Legally, yeah, legally that would be a good thing. It would be a good thing just because, if it was legal to rape 4-year-old little girls, like my daughter there,
yes.
You would be saying, hey, we should, as a society, we should not allow this to happen. And you're saying that's different from people violently murdering smaller children.
So I'm sorry, I gotta
you're all right, man.
Sorry.
Hey, dude, come out. We'll be the rest of the week. We'll be not the rest of the week. Next week. No, really, read it over. I'm Jared. I know, but it's a lot of information. Just when you have time later, and we're gonna be here.
Possessed by the insanity of crippling deformities of mind and body. When they are gone, Earth will be lifeless.